Welcome everybody to another Is It Good review. I am Brian Daniels and I'm going to be reviewing the TMNT Cowabunga collection. And this is a game that I, as a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, have been waiting quite a while for. A collection of games that I grew up with, from the Ninja Turtles arcade game to Turtles in Time and all the other games in between that have came out. This is going to be the best collection of Ninja Turtles games that you're going to find on the market right now. But before I get into this review, please be sure to subscribe to our channel here on the domain. We do a lot of video game reviews, movie reviews, unboxings, and so much more. So please be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all of our videos here on the domain. And a big thank you to all of you that are already subscribed, or for those of you that do subscribe watching this video. Anyway, you guys are watching here gameplay of the TMNT arcade games, the arcade cabinet. This is just one of several games that you can find here on the Cowabunga collection. Now, this is, of course, available on the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, as I'm playing here on the PS4 Pro. Also, it's available on the Xbox. And you can see there's so many different options here. We're going to go over every single one of those. Now, I know we want to talk about the games, and I'm definitely going to talk about the games more in detail later on in this video. But I want to say and answer a question: is this a game for me? Is this a game that you should buy? My answer is absolutely. If you are a big fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, if you've played the games, and I'll tell you this, even if you haven't played the games, definitely want to go back through, because this game doesn't just offer video games. It offers a lot of historical content as well, which I'm going to show you guys here in a minute, in the form of the Turtles Lair, which is really where I actually spent a lot of my time when I first booted up this game, was the Ninja Turtles Lair. And I'm going to show that to you guys right now. This is a section of the game that I spent a lot of my time in. This is going to let you see the manuals of the games. Every single game included in this collection, you will be able to see all the manuals. You'll be able to see them from the Japanese versions of the games. It even shows you the boxes in their complete form. I mean, look how great the first game looks. Here's you're seeing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. But they also show you the Japanese box art as well. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I think it probably took me about 20 minutes after I booted up this game before I actually played a game in the collection. I spent a lot of my time here. It even shows you like strategy guides, as you guys can see here. I love video game history. I love, as a collector, I love collectibles. And I love these manuals and even these little strategy guides that Konami put into this game as a special part of the game itself. Not only that, there's some behind the scenes, showing how they did the concept art of a lot of these games. And what you're going to also see next, which I think is super cool, because not only am I a fan of the video games, but I'm a huge, huge fan of the TV series, the 80s TMNT, the best show out of all the Ninja Turtle shows. But if you like all the other Ninja Turtle shows that came after it, you also have little stills from those on here as well. And you can see me kind of going through. They show you stills of all the seasons of the original 1980s run of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. And when I went through this, it just kind of brought me back to that time when I would wake up and I'd get so excited because the shows came on Fox. I remember waking up and turning that on and being so excited to watch these shows. And one of them being like, the old X-Men cartoon, things like that. But this was by far my favorite show growing up as a kid, and being able to watch this. This actually makes me want to go back and watch the show again, because I think the episodes were only like 15 minutes long. They weren't very long with all the commercials. They made them feel like they're about a half hour long. But I'm telling you guys, if you like that kind of stuff, this is something you're absolutely going to not want to miss running through. Another thing I like is the menus. Check out these menus. They're full moving menus. It allows you to see some of the gameplay. I know I'm kind of going a little fast, but you can see just a little bit of the gameplay of the game. You've got games like Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters for the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis. You got the Hyperstone Heist for the Sega Genesis. You saw that there. What's also cool is that each game has its own little enhancements menu, which you saw that little menu popping up. And they're different for each game. So some games let you have God mode, like you see here for the second game on the NES. Some let you do a level select. You can just go to the very end of the game if you want to do that. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend playing through all of these games because they're definitely all worth playing through. It even includes the Game Boy games. I'm going to go into the games in more detail here in a little bit, but I love these menus because it allows you to get a feel for what the gameplay is going to be like by being able to see kind of like a demo a little bit of each game. And I also love that it's presented in a comic book style form. Now, for those who don't know, no, the Ninja Turtles did not start from the 80s TV show. Actually, Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman created these comics earlier than that. But you're going to see a little bit of the game, one of the games. This is the first Ninja Turtles game from Japan. But I like how the menus were, incorporating that comic book feel because that's where the Ninja Turtles originated from. But yeah, here's a little bit of the the Japanese version of the first game. And but speaking of gameplay, I know that's why you guys are here, because you also want to see the games and how they're played. So each game has its own little special border that you can see here. For instance, in Ninja Turtles, the Hyperstone Heist, it's got its own little border. You don't have to keep these borders up the whole time. I know most people, myself included, I'm sure you watching this video, are probably going to have a modern TV, probably a flat screen, maybe even a 4K. You don't have to play these games with the border. They all pretty much allow you to do a full screen. It does kind of stretch the game out, takes away from the original resolution. You can see here playing Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters that, it's stretched out. This is not how it looks when you first play it. It does have a border around it, but look at this. It still looks good. It still runs very smoothly. I played this on a PS4 Pro. I did not play this on a next-gen console, so I really can't say for sure how this is going to run. But I mean, if it already looks this good on a PS4 Pro on what's considered last-gen technology, I can only imagine just how much better this looks and runs on current gen, on Xbox Series X, Series S, and PS5. Now, you do see there you can rewind. You are able to do some rewinding during the game. All the games allow you to have save states, which is something you could never do before on these games. Growing up, games didn't allow you to do that kind of stuff. They were very hard. You didn't get save states. You had to beat the entire game all the way through. I remember going to this little place called Showbiz Pizza. Probably just told you how old I am. And that's when I first played the Ninja Turtles arcade game. And you had to drop quarters in that thing, or tokens, or whatever it was. I think it was tokens, but you didn't get save states on those games. You had to, they were money eaters. But if you, for whatever reason, was never able to beat those games, you have an opportunity to do so here because they have save states. They do have rewind functionality too, so even if you're in the middle of a fight like you saw me there, you can kind of rewind to try to get the advantage and things like that. Here is one of the hardest Ninja Turtle games ever. This is probably the hardest Ninja Turtle game. This is the first game on the NES. And what I like about this is some of these older games. I don't know if you remember. I remember this when I first got this game as a kid. And I even own this game now. It's in my collection physically. But this game had a lot of slowdown. I don't know if you remember or not, but when there was too many enemies on the screen, the game would slow down. It would lag. It could cause you to get hit easier and things like that. Well, actually, in the enhancement menus of some of these older titles, you have the option to turn on smoothing. So because of the technology in these consoles, it actually plays a lot more smoothly. And you probably will notice that here as you're watching a little bit of the first game. Just how much better, how much smoother this runs. I do recommend playing the older titles, not in full screen, because it's going to look... It just doesn't, to me, it doesn't look that good. So when I play these older titles, you know, like the ones on the NES, for example, you want to probably play them on with the borders, with a smaller screen, because they're not going to, in my opinion, run or play as good. Now, I did not pick up the $150 collection with the book or all that other stuff, so I can't really give you my first-hand experience with that, but from what I've seen and heard from others, that is absolutely worth it because it comes with a book, you get an acrylic stand with all the Ninja Turtles on it, a nice little acrylic display you put together, and a few other goodies that if you are a diehard fan of the show, or of the Ninja Turtles rather, you definitely want to pick up. Last but certainly not least, one thing I do really like about this collection is it does include the 3 Game Boy releases, and they are played in their full Game Boy glory. Look at this, black and white. And you're going to see me checking out all 3 of these games. You've got Fall of the Foot Clan here, which is the first one. This is more of a side-scroller. I actually never played these games growing up. I knew of them, but I never was able to get my hands on them. And actually, the crazy part is, these Game Boy games, to just loose, are upwards of $100 to $200. Loose. That's even complete in box. I think some of these go for complete in box about $300, $400 to $500 each. So, if you don't want to have to worry about spending those high prices to play these games, I highly recommend that you pick up this collection, because for $40 you're going to get to play all these games and you don't have to worry about spending so much money. You guys are also seeing here Ninja Turtles 2 Back from the Sewers. This is another it's a similar game as the first game, but it's a bit more arcadey, kind of like Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, or the arcade game in general, the stand-up 4-player arcade game. I played through this. I haven't played all the way through these 3 titles yet, but after playing this one, I definitely really enjoyed this one more so than the first game. And to answer your question, there really isn't a bad Ninja Turtles game in this collection. And you're really getting all the old school games. You're not going to get any of the newer, obviously, Turtle games that were released. You know, like Mutant in Manhattan and things like that came out, of course, on the 360 and the PS3. But I think it's worth it. I think this is absolutely worth picking up. You can get a physical copy of this on the Switch. I don't believe there are physical copies of this game available yet on any other console. I don't know when those are going to be released, if they are. I know me, I like to have games like this as a physical copy, but even so, this game plays very, very well still, no matter what console you're going to play it on. I've only played this on the PS4 Pro, but I've seen others play this game on other consoles, and it runs very smooth. Now, this is the 3rd game. This is Radical Rescue. This is actually, surprisingly, a Metroidvania. You got a map. You guys saw that. You'll see it again here in a second. And you have to actually go and rescue the other 3 Ninja Turtles. So you only start off as Michelangelo. And you have to go and rescue the other 3 Ninja Turtles. They're all spread out on this map. Once again, I never played this one either. But anyway, this is my review of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection. I highly recommend it. It's not just good, it's great. I think you should absolutely go pick this up. It's worth the money. I know, you know, $40 might seem like that's a lot of money, but with what this has to offer you, it's not just the games. I mean, you saw earlier, it's got a lot of other stuff too. It's absolutely worth the money if you like looking at the history of the manuals and you want to see the behind the scenes concept art and things like that. Other than that, thank you guys so very much for watching another Is It Good review. Let me know what you think about this game in the comment section below. We always take a look at the comments. I respond to comments every day, checking out what you guys think about certain things. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.